Good afternoon, everybody. As you know, I'm Chris Stewart, attorney for the Scott family, Justin Bamberg. Long 5 weeks and a missed opportunity for justice. Missed opportunity to heal a lot of wounds in this country. Missed opportunity to remind the good officers that put on that badge that they aren't Michael Slager. But if you thought that we were going to come out here crying or weeping or weak, you don't know the Scott family, who have become my family. You don't understand that the fight isn't over. That was round 1. We've got 2 more rounds to go. The solicitor is trying this case again as soon as she can. The DOJ is trying this case as soon as they can. He may have delayed justice, but he did not escape it. We all saw what he did. We all saw what happened. But that's the justice system. One person or 2 people can disagree. We don't know the details of what the jury makeup was or what the decision was. We'll find that out to forestall any comments about that or any questions about that. But it doesn't matter, because our faith is unwavering. Our knowledge of what happened is unwavering. And Michael Slager will face justice in this. We aren't worried. We don't need to scream or shout, because we know that it's coming. It's just been delayed. So think what you want, that the fight is over. But it's not. It's simply been delayed. Anthony Scott would like to give some remarks, and Miss Judy Scott, his mother.
Let her go first. Go ahead, Mom.
I would like to say good evening to all of you. And today, I'm not sad. And I want you to know why I'm not sad. Because Jesus is on the inside. And I know that justice will be served, because the God that I serve, He's able. He told me to wait on the Lord and be of good courage. And God, He is strengthening my heart. God is my strength, and I know without a doubt that He is a just God, and injustice will not prevail. The God I serve, I know He's able. We are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses from days past and gone. And what God did for them back then, He'll do the same for me. I trust God. I believe God. I am encouraged, because I know God is able.
Say so.
He will get His just reward. And we have the federal trial and another trial to go. I'm just waiting on the Lord. I'm just going to rest in the Lord. I'm going to rest in the Lord, because you see, the reason why I can speak like I am, because the joy of the Lord is my strength. And I have been born again. I've been washed in the blood of the Lamb. And there's something about Jesus when He's on the inside. I fear not. I don't care what man say. I don't care how it looks. It's not over. Y'all hear me? It's not over till God say it's over.
I'm done. I'm done. Drop the mic. Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
We'll be back.
Be back.
Justin Bamberg of Bamberg Legal. You just heard some very, very strong and powerful words from Miss Judy Scott, and I think that sums up how the entire family feels about this moment.
Hallelujah. Glory.
You know,
Hallelujah. Thank you, God.
yeah, we wish the outcome may have
Hallelujah.
been different, But at the end of the day, this is just another step in the process, and we all know that at the end of the day, justice will be had. One thing that we've learned throughout this entire process is it doesn't really matter how many times you get knocked down. Just make sure you land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And this is an example that moving forward, we'll continue looking up, and we'll continue to take things day by day. And we know that at the end of the day, justice will be had, because oftentimes what's done in the dark comes to the light. And thanks to Fade and Santana, we've seen the light. And there is no way at the end of the day that former Officer Michael Slager can escape what's coming to him. And that is a conviction, and that is prison time.
After what you heard on Friday, this lone juror saying that he could not morally convict the officer, is this something, this announcement today, is this something that you had prepared for? How had you prepared for this?
I think that's the catch-22 is he said he didn't want to say that the killer of Walter Scott is innocent, which would mean he's guilty. So his moral conscience, I guess, didn't let him put Michael Slager behind bars, but that's fine. That happens in jury trials. But it tells you a lot.
Were you surprised to learn today that a majority of the jurors were still undecided?
No, when you get all of the information and you can ask questions that maybe you wanted to ask, now people are figuring out more answers to different things they hadn't thought of. But we'll know all of those facts once you all talk to the jury. Of course, they can talk to y'all now. I'm sure they're probably talking to somebody right now.
Mr. Stewart, question for you. The makeup of the jury, as you know, 6 white men, 5 white women, 1 African-American man. Does the makeup of the jury, now that in retrospect you look at the fact that there was a mistrial, does that bother you?
It shouldn't bother anybody if it truly was 11-1, because that meant all of the white guys voted for guilty, all of the white women, the black male. It's one person out of the 12. So that should be encouraging, if anything. So that, as we said from day one, that didn't shake us. One person just decided to do what they did, and that's fine, but it's not over.
Are you sure it's just one? We 100% positive.
Everybody's going off of what that note said with,
last Friday.
Last Friday.
But whether something changed today is not.
We won't know that until we talk to the jury.
Do you think another jury can convict Michael Slager?
Of course. He dodged it by a hair, and he's not dodging it again.
There was a question for Mrs. Scott. For the people in the community who may be upset with the outcome of this, who may want to protest, or what do you say to them?
I'll answer that. I'll address that. People of Charleston, you've stuck by us the entire time, and we appreciate your support. It's not over. Keep your head high, and we're going to continue to trust. And like my mother said, we're going to trust God. We're not going to tear up this city. We're going to keep it just the way it is, and we're going to believe in peaceful protests. Because it didn't turn out the way we feel, but we feel like our voices need to be heard. And we need to let the nation know that we're not happy, but we're not sad, because we know that God got it. But we do believe in peaceful protests.
This is a very difficult time for 2 families, certainly because you lost your son, and another family fears losing theirs. Is there anything that you would say to the Slager family?
Not at this time. Nothing that I would say to the Slager family at this time.
Mr. Scott, you had said last week, I believe, that had the jury found Mr. Slager guilty of manslaughter and had the judge given him 30 years, which you could get under manslaughter,
Right.
you could have lived with that.
Absolutely.
From what we've learned, Mr. Scott, it appears it was a manslaughter conviction for the 11 members in that jury. Do you still say that had that conviction come, you could have lived with that?
With him spending 30 years in prison, absolutely. I could live with that. I could live with that. And you did ask a question about his family, and with you saying that, I do feel for that baby boy, and I do feel for his family, but You know, he gets to spend Christmas with his family. He gets to go home at night with his family. Me and my family, we will never see Walter never again. We have to live with the fact that Walton got gunned down, shot in the back 8 times. We have to live with his video being played over and over again across the world. So do I feel sorry for the family? I feel sorry for that baby that may have to not be able to see his father or grow up with his father. But as far as the rest, there's no pity. But the Bible says justice is the Lord.
I will.
Mr. Scott, what do you say to those watching nationally who may perceive justice as not being served yet? Folks who have seen these incidences, whether it be Ferguson or Baltimore or Minneapolis, and they're watching today and may perceive this as justice not being served. What do you say to them?
Absolutely, justice hasn't been served yet, but we have more chances. We're coming back. It's a hung jury. I don't know the makeup of the jury or what they found, but I know this is a hung jury. We get another try. And then he also has federal charges as well. So it's not over. It's not over. We'll be back.
This is sort of just a matter of, is there anything that you think could have been or should have been done differently with the state's case and their presentation of the facts as they understand?
I'll answer that. They did an excellent job. The solicitor did a phenomenal job on this case. With the facts that she presented to the jury, they had everything that they needed. And we have no regrets about her and what she did, the job that she did. She did an excellent job.
Chris and Justin, it sounds like the solicitor talked to you and the family about a retrial. Can you give us some details about that?
Yes, she's confirmed that the state will be retrying this as soon as they can get it scheduled.
Did she talk to you about that today, yesterday?
Yes.
That was what, yesterday?
When was it again?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
So she's already ready.
Yes, she's already ready.
She just left us and said she's ready to go right now.
She's ready to go.
For the attorneys, this is the second mistrial that an officer involved in deadly shooting in town. What do you think that says?
We all know that it's difficult to convict law enforcement officers in this country. Okay, but you got to also keep in mind that every case is different. I don't think there is a soul or a person with a soul that thinks that what Michael Slager did is okay or is not wrong. I don't think that this jury, I don't think questions of fact were the issue for this jury. I think that there were issues with their interpretation of the law. And for at least one person getting over those hurdles with the letter of the law just would not allow them to convict him. I don't believe we're going to have this same problem the next time. But you need to just continue to operate, continue to pursue. You know, I think one of the biggest takeaways from this mistrial is you've got to have this understanding that, you know, there's a beauty to our criminal justice system in terms of the jury and the jury makeup, and it's not always going to go in your favor. We just got to continue to work to make the process as good as it can, and officers need to know that you can't do these things, and at the end of the day, when Michael Slager is convicted, that message is going to ring loud and clear.
Justin, on those interpretations of the law, there was a series of questions. The day started today with a series of questions. It seemed like some of those questions should have been answered at the infancy of this trial. What is imminent danger? What is self-defense for an officer versus an ordinary citizen? Were you surprised at some of those questions that came out, given what you're talking about, the interpretation of the law being so germane to this case?
Not surprised by the questions. You know, we're dealing with lay people. They don't have legal training. And when you look at
The fact that it went weeks and weeks and weeks and it wasn't talked about at the beginning, it seems like some of these issues should have been addressed early on.
Well, they're not given the definitions and the charges until the very end of the case. So it's not like they hear these terms throughout the course of trial. It's when they get in, they're given the instructions by the judge, and they take those instructions and match them up with the facts. You know, these are folks, they're tasked with interpreting certain things, you know, based on their own personal experiences. Based on what they've been exposed to, based on their level of education, where they grew up. So you never know. And it's very difficult to get 12 people to unanimously agree on anything. let alone whether or not someone deserves to spend the rest of their life in prison. So no, we're not surprised by some of the questions. I think they were very good questions. And I think that at the end of the day, there's a lot that we can learn from this trial, from the questions posed, and more importantly, the state can pick up on certain things and improve where these jurors may say they need to, so that we don't have this problem again at the end of the next trial.
Mr.
Scott,
in the Mother Emanuel church shootings, some of the family members of the victims said they looked straight into the eye of the suspect, Dylan Roof, and said, "Sir, we forgive you for what you did to our loved ones."
Yes.
I was there, I saw it.
Yes.
It moved me almost to tears.
Yes, sir.
Could you ever find it in your heart to forgive Michael Slager for what he did to your brother?
In my heart, I will find the peace to forgive Michael Slager for doing that, what he done to my brother. But at this present time, until my family can see justice, no, there's no forgiveness.
Do you believe Mr. Slager had malice and forethought, or was this a heat of passion?
I think it was malice and forethought. I think it was murder, and I think that describes murder.
No, I know it's not. You guys said it's not over, but what now?
The next
We
step
wait.
is the trials.
We wait on the trial, and then we go from there. The next trial. Prayerfully, it won't be another 6 weeks long. 5, 6 weeks
The
long.
length of the trial was a factor, and could sequestration also been helpful or beneficial in any way? Was that a factor at all in this?
Actually, I think that they had all the evidence that they had, and it was such a well done case on the part of the solicitor. I think they had everything they needed. All they had to do is make a decision, and like the lawyer said, they had a problem with the interpretation of the law. I think that's what it was, because all of us know that was murder. Thank you.